The Kids Are Our Business campaign is in full swing this month at the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center in Fargo.
I'm excited to have CEO Dr. Christopher Johnson with us today to talk about why this month is so important for prevention.
Thank you for coming in today. Kind of a tough topic to talk about, but can we talk a little bit about Child Abuse Prevention Month and what that means?
Sure, yeah. Anyone who's engaged in working with children or protecting children is doing something to symbolize the month and really recognize that we have children in our community and other communities across the world who are subject to atrocities of everything from neglect to physical abuse to sexual abuse. And so the providers really each take their piece and say, you know, we can work on this one, we can provide intervention and prevention to make sure that these kids are safe. So everyone gears up for this month to make sure that the general population really understands what we're doing for kids.
We don't want to think this actually is a problem here, but the numbers prove otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, it's an issue that when you engage people in conversation, people struggle to get their heads around how people could treat children like this. And there's many factors that contribute to it. But I think the key for us is to figure out how to get ahead of it and how to implement evidence-based primary prevention strategies and make sure that the intervention techniques are bringing health and healing to our children who have been impacted by these issues.
So what are some prevention strategies?
Yeah, so I think that, you know, there's many schools of thoughts in preventing abuse, but particularly child sexual abuse, because it's such a secret thing. And most of the time abusers or groomers will use that this is our secret or this is just between you and I. And so I think that when you're dealing with something as horrific as child sexual abuse, you attack it from every angle that you possibly can. So you make sure that children understand what the rights they have to their bodies, who their helpers are, how to engage their helpers. We want to make sure that all of our neighbors and professionals who are working with children understand the signs and symptoms of it so we can intervene, but then continuing to raise awareness around these issues and just how taxing they are on society and the children that are suffering from them.
So is there like a place where I can get information on that? And there was a story recently locally where a mom was like, I had no idea. I thought this guy was a very loving dad. That was her take on him, and found out that he was doing some horrific things. And so how would she have been able to see some signs and go, wait a second, something's not right?
Yeah. I think that, you know, certainly the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center here locally would be a benefit. I think all the Prevent Child Abuse America, every state has one. So North Dakota has an active child prevention or child abuse prevention group out of Bismarck. And so I think even just searching it, and there's so many groups that are so organized around this issue to say, you know, here's some of the warning signs, here's how to talk to your kids about this stuff. So really a quick search or calling the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center, we can get you on the right track.
So parents are a first step in this, and we talk about who you work with and the experts, but it comes down to all of us can do something, right?
Yes, we are all responsible for our children's safety. You know, it's not my child or your child, it's our child, right? It's how do we look out for each other's children and make sure that they're safe. And so really, I think the more we have a collective responsibility around the safety of children, the more right we'll do by them.
Can you talk a little bit more too about Kids Are Our Business?
Yeah, so for years, the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center had the Kids Are Our Business Breakfast, an event in the community where so many members of the community came out and supported us on that. And a couple of years ago, we decided to move a different direction, and so we sunsetted the breakfast, and we decided to do a campaign instead. So in April every year now, we're putting up pinwheel displays, we're going to our individual and corporate donors and asking them to back us for our children's services. And so we've made the month of child abuse prevention also our Kids Campaign Month, where we're generating funds to make sure that we can serve children in a way that's effective.
Since we have you here, can we also talk about where you guys are going in the future? Are there growth plans? I mean, the need is there.
It is there. One of the things that makes the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center a unique nonprofit in the community is that we are embedded in formal protocols of the formal systems. So hospitals, law enforcement, courts, academia, schools, we are part of their protocol. So as the community has grown, we have felt that burden. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that we have an obligation to keep up with the growth of the community. And so in the last 5 years, we have seen substantial growth. We've gone from 28 employees to 48 employees. And we anticipate that in the next 5 years, we'll get close to 100 employees. So
wow,
we have to stay ahead of this thing.
So what are you looking for right now as far as employees? If there's someone out there watching who goes, hey, this resonates
Yeah.
with my heart.
Yeah, if
I
there,
wanna help.
if there's people out there who really, I mean, we're a business, so we need accounting folks, we need counseling folks, we need everyone. So, but ultimately, the three major pools of employees that we have are prevention educators who are in the schools and in the community and academia. We have counselors on staff who can see children and adults, and we have advocates who are in the courts who do outreach. They're kind of our first responders, boots on the ground. So we always seem to have positions open just based on the amount of growth that we've seen in the last 5 years.
What's your website? You know, can people, is that a good resource
yes,
to
it
go
is.
and
Yes,
check
it
out
is.
how
Yeah,
they can
it's-
get involved? Or,
Yep, it's raccfm.com.
Okay, or give you guys a call?
Absolutely.
Okay, it's a tough conversation, but a good time to start it, and, you know, takes
Agreed.
all of us.
Yep, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. Coming up on North Dakota Today, how you can help honor our local veterans on their upcoming journey to the Capitol.